Well, when I think of Larry, I think of a real groundedness in Ignatian values and education, for one. I think of him as a really humble person with a deep dedication to works of peace and justice.
I got here in 1980. Larry was teaching in the counseling department and was also coaching football.
As a coach, he had all the values that you would want somebody to have who was coaching your kid. And I think he taught math, but he was really a counselor. Over my time here, he moved from teaching to counseling, and he was great with kids. He was the kind of guy who spent a lot of time with kids that were kind of on the fringe and stuff. He had a real concern for them that was impressive.
He was always willing to step up and do the hard work and wouldn't take any credit. He's always focused on the students, and he wanted to put the students first.
Back in 1975, I think we probably had maybe we had part-time counselors for each year. But then as society got more complicated and students came with various issues and problems, the need for counseling became increasingly significant. A student who's not happy or who has issues and stuff is not going to learn. So we have to deal with the student as the student is. And counseling can take a lot of those issues that you can't deal with in the classroom or on the playing field or that kind of stuff.
He was very interested in helping students not only understand themselves, but also understanding the world and then their connection to it.
When listening to Jesus' command to feed the hungry and clothe the naked and visit those who are in prison and welcome the stranger, Larry's one who says, yeah, how can we do that? How can we do that better? How can we make that a part and parcel of who we are at Bellarmine?
He was very moved by his first trip to El Salvador in 1993. He was one of the first people to recognize the importance of building up a relationship with the people of El Salvador and to expand and deepen that relationship. So when Larry took over the immersion program from Rachel Shapiro, he certainly deepened our relationship with El Salvador. He expanded the program to new parts of the world, and he really ensured that what was fundamental to the immersion program was a particular way of entering into the suffering of the poor and the marginalized.
He's a man of justice. When I think of justice, it's not only doing the right thing, but it's seeking the good for people beyond myself.
Larry's commitment to peace and justice are formed over his 40-plus years with the Jesuits, but also by his own personal commitment to exploring his own values, being aware of what's going on in the world, and his deep interest in understanding and building up relationships.
He was asked to serve on the board, I think, of the Ignatian Solidarity Network because of the immersion program that he had developed here at Bellarmine. And he had his feet in two worlds. He was in the world of the Bellarmine community here with students, but he also had his foot in El Salvador and Central America and aware of the need. It wasn't about charity. This was all about solidarity and justice for Larry.
Larry was the person who headed up the first Justice Summit. He coordinated, and it was on hunger. He really pulled together a broad spectrum of people on campus to see how people could get engaged in this topic and really how we could kind of set this summit off on the right foot.
Ann Maloney and I in the service office were looking to have an award where we were recognizing a student who was very active in social justice issues, particularly related to our immersion program. And somebody who actively said, I want to go out and make a difference. So Ann and I looked at each other and we said, we have to name this award after Lauro.
Everything that Larry cared about and tried to bring to life on this campus was always rooted in Ignatian spirituality and his values and commitments towards peace and justice, but also with an eye to what was happening around the world